Plus, Democrats take action against Alabama's tough new immigration law. They are launching their new campaign at the site of the Birmingham church where 4 little girls were killed in 1963. I'll talk with Congressman Luis Gutierrez. And now back to the developing news out of Alabama. A new campaign to repeal that state's tough new immigration law is promised. Joining me now, Democratic Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, who's heading up the group. He's also the chair of the Immigration Task Force for the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Congressman, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure to be with you, Cameron.
Let's talk about first the location here, the 16th Street Baptist Church. I've been there. We know what that means emotionally to Americans, that site where those 4 little girls, their lives were taken. Why have you chosen the location to start off, I guess, another repeal attempt of this law?
Well, actually, we're going to start it at 3 o'clock today at the Birmingham City Council, where we'll have an ad hoc hearing with the 10 Congresspeople to hear from the people of Alabama. And then, Tamron, you're absolutely right. At 7 o'clock tonight under Coalition One Alabama, I feel such a sense of honor and of privilege to be invited. Reverend Shuttlesworth's widow will be there to receive us. The civil rights community has decided that this is the best place, the most appropriate place to host the activity tonight, where all of Alabamans come together with all of Americans to repeal this law.
The governor of Alabama, Robert Bentley, reacted to a New York Times article that talked about the immigration law and comparing it to the civil rights movement. Let me read what he said. He says, it's really somewhat of an insult to the 4 little girls that were killed in that bombing in Birmingham and the people who were beaten here at the bus station and those that lost their home and their churches were bombed. It's a disservice to them and an insult to them that went through that movement. This is totally different. Those are, again, the words of the Republican governor in that state. What is your reaction to him?
Well, you know, it seems to me, Cameron, number one, we've been invited by the civil rights movement. We've been invited by those that have fought and have struggled in Alabama. And it seems to me that 40 years ago, there were those that stood on the front doors of schools to deny black children access to quality education and to finally come an end to the Jim Crow laws of separation and segregation. And today, there are American citizen children. There are 4 million of them in the United States and tens of thousands of them here in the state of Alabama who don't feel they can access the school system, who don't feel they can access health care because their parents are undocumented because of these laws that they are attempting to enforce here in Alabama. Look, we understand discrimination when we see it, and the Please Show Me Your Paper law of Alabama can only be enforced if you take about a racial profiling. Who do you think they're actually going? And let me say that this is an anti-Alabama law. There are crops in the fields that will never be harvested and taken to the market for sale. There will be empty restaurants. There will be a hurt here in this state because part of the driving is the new immigrant. Last week, an executive of Mercedes-Benz, they opened up a huge plant here in Alabama. They opened up a huge plant, thousands of jobs. Right. He was arrested under the draconian new law.
And to your point, you know, some Republicans now are even saying that they're seeing those unintended consequences of this law. To your point, saying that they have no one to pick the crops there. 60% of the people supported it, but now again, some Republicans are saying this has gone too far and they may need to change it. So it is not just Democrats, but certainly you and others are on the forefront here.
Well, let me just say, look, the state legislature here is now considering repealing certain sectors. They should just repeal the law completely. The Justice Department is in court saying that this law is unconstitutional. I think as we hear the testimonies today, as the voices of people from Alabama are heard, I think people in Alabama and across this country are going to say it's a bad law. It's something ill-considered.
Congressman Gutierrez, thank you so much for joining us. We'll follow the developments from Alabama. Thank you. And the former